Well, the big day is finally here, FC Dallas fans. What effects will Montreal suspensions have on Saturday's game? And what will the atmosphere be like at Toyota Stadium as the Oscar Pareja era begins? Daniel Robertson and I discuss that and more in this week's Keys to the Match, driven by Toyota. I'm Scott Brown with FCDTV here with Daniel Robertson, and this is the inaugural edition of the Keys to the Match, driven by Toyota.
That's right. Each week we're going to be breaking down the biggest topics heading into that weekend's match, and we kick things off with the big season opener on Saturday night against the Montreal Impact.
Daniel, Montreal's last match of 2013 was a playoff game against Houston that saw Nelson Rivas, Andres Romero, and Marco Di Vaio all issued red cards. How do you think those absences are going to affect the game on Saturday?
Well, Andres Romero and Nelson Rivas, they're certainly players, but they're not big pieces of Montreal. But of course, Marco Di Vaio is kind of their biggest player, their talisman. He scored 20 goals last year. They only scored 50 goals all season, so he provided almost half of the offense. It's a big loss for Montreal, and it's a big benefit for Dallas. When you're talking about a first game of the season, the defensive cohesion is always an issue, and a guy like Di Vaio, such a poacher, not having him on the field for Montreal is going to be a big loss for them.
Obviously, this is the start of a new era at Toyota Stadium. It's Oscar Pareja's first game as head coach of FC Dallas. There were a lot of roster moves in the offseason. Daniel, what are you going to be looking for at FC Dallas as this team continues to gel?
Well, I think keys 1, 2, and 3 for Dallas are defensive cohesion. When you talk about the offense, it's going to be a work in progress, and if you make a mistake, you just kind of start over and go, for the next shot. Whereas for the defense, you make one mistake, you give up a goal, you could lose the game with that one mistake. So for FC Dallas, I think they're going to be really leaning on Matt Hedges, kind of the veteran there at the back, to organize everything, get everyone on the same page, and hopefully get a clean sheet for FC Dallas.
As we said before, it's the start of a new era in Frisco. The fans are really excited for the return of Oscar Pareja. They're excited to see some of the new players in action on the field, and it really should make for an electric atmosphere at Toyota Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, I think optimism is at an all-time high. Oscar Pareja has come in, he's turned things around very quickly, and there's going to be a huge crowd on Saturday night, so I think it's key for FC Dallas to feed off that crowd. Try and get an early goal, really get on Montreal's heels, and get things started early, and I think they'll find a lot of success.
Saturday's game against Montreal is presented by AdvoCare, and the gates will open at 6 p.m. for that 7:30 kickoff. The match will be broadcast in high definition locally on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel 148. And for the radio call, be sure to tune in to The Word 100.7 FM. For our Spanish listeners, as always, listen to 1270 AM La Voz del Pueblo with your host, Carlos Alvarado. Well, that does it for us this week. For the Keys to the Match driven by Toyota, I'm Scott Brown.
And I'm Daniel Robertson. We'll see you on Saturday night at Toyota Stadium.